Hi, my name's Nick Broughton and I'm a Randomfish. Hit the subscribe button and let's be Randomfishes together. And of course, happy Star Wars Day! See this? I'm rocking my Chewbacca onesie. Who's the hat? It's my Chewie onesie! Yay! Happy Star Wars Day. Say that to everybody you know, say that to your family, say it to your friends, say it to your loved ones. Hold them close. But for me, every day is Star Wars Day, so not so big. It's also Free Comic Book Day today, so, you know, feel free to pop down to your local comic book shop, get some free comics, pick up some more comics while you're there, and indulge this rather brilliant industry, and these amazing writers, these amazing artists, these amazing just everything. And you'll be amazed at the community that is provided for you in a local comic book shop. Today, I wanted to talk about something that is a very hard-hitting of home for me. That being the idea of fan service. More specifically, fan service from the insanity that is Rise of the Skywalker fan backlash. For some people, there appears to be this idea that Rise of the Skywalker, Lando being involved and all this sort of thing is an overabundance of fan service that isn't needed. And I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about is the reaction from one very specific fan. He got me thinking about it a lot, and his exact reaction was going, he doesn't understand why people don't seem to get that sequels are fan service, especially for something like a big franchise. I know that fan service is a good thing, and it can be used well. J.J. Abrams really incorporated the idea of fan servicing when he made the Force Awakens teaser trailer. The idea of planets looking very much alike, the idea of the new being incorporated into the old, the idea that Han and Chewie at the very end of Force Awakens trailer of the Chewie We're Home line, that was fan service. Leia being there, that's fan service. All of these things put into the trailer, at the very least, is fan service. And in the movie, they obviously have their parts and their roles to play. In Last Jedi, you have the same thing with Mark Hamill and the Luke Skywalker character, as well as Leia herself. And in the Rise of Skywalker, it is more than a little bit obvious that there's going to be a lot of fan service because of Lando Calrissian being involved, because Luke's voice can still be heard in voiceover, so clearly he's coming back as some kind of Force ghost. My thoughts on the trailer are available, I believe, on one of my other videos earlier in the channel, so please check that out if you haven't already. My biggest, I won't say issue, but my biggest thought process when it comes to fan service is that there is a time and a place to do it. This trilogy is a good place to do it, because this is what original trilogy fans have been waiting for. Those who first saw either everything from the first Star Wars movie, from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, and those that only saw Return of the Jedi, or those that only saw Empire and then Return of the Jedi, that sort of thing. These guys have been waiting for years to get a response to this. Now, this is obviously hyped by the fact that when the prequels came out, there were those who were fans of the prequels and those who besmirched it because it wasn't the original trilogy and because it didn't have the same gumption that the original trilogy had, at least in their eyes. For me, I like all the Star Wars movies. I like the prequels fine. I like them for various degrees of reasons, but that's an entirely different conversation I need to have at a completely different time in my life. But the new trilogy is trying to incorporate new characters in with still producing the old characters and still making enough people in the audience fanboy out and going, oh my god, that's a character that I know well, oh my god, yes, constantly. And my biggest issue, I would say, with this is that you need to know when to stop. The story has to continue. I know that for many people, fan service is what brings them back to certain franchises. It's what brought a lot of people back to Star Wars because of the Han Solo involvement, because of Luke Skywalker's involvement. But the one thing you also have to realize is that the characters of Rey, of Finn, of Poe Dameron, they all have their own stories now. And they have to continue the story because these characters cannot keep going with the story. They can't. As much as we may like them to. This, on top of just about everything else, makes Star Wars an epic tale of epic proportions. But we can't allow ourselves to get too boiled down into fan service. This is the kind of thing that you could almost say, like Ghostbusters 2016, that suffered from it. That definitely suffered from it. Because it was trying so hard to rely on the older Ghostbusters, or the old actors of the last Ghostbusters, to come in and make cameos in that film, that they ended up not making the film original enough. And I think that was... But obviously that can still backfire on you, because Last Jedi tried to do that. It tried to further the plot. It tried to do new things with new characters and new surroundings and all this sort of thing. And the fan backlash was insane. Now, I am someone who will defend Last Jedi. I will. I will defend Last Jedi to the very end. Because I don't understand people's problem with it. And when Rise of Skywalker trailer first came out, I'm not going to lie, yes, I was excited by the idea of this, but I did almost feel as if it was trying to take a step backwards. Now, I do get that fan service is something important. And something like Star Wars needs it, especially if this is going to be the movie that wraps up the Skywalker saga. I get it. Believe me, I understand. But you can't allow fan service to override the continuation of the story. Star Wars isn't just the Skywalker story. It's an entire mass of it. Now, unfortunately, I am one of these people who will call upon the expanded universe. I am one of these people who looked at now what's called Legends, and I like the idea of them drawing inspiration from that to make it into the current canon. I like those kind of ideas, and I am one of these people that will defend the idea of something from Legends coming into the real canon again, and I always will. But I do understand the connection that's been made from the original trilogy, from a movie-going perspective. You have made a connection with Luke, Leia, Han, and Lando. Those are the four. Oh, and Chewie. Sorry, Peter Mayhew. Rest in peace. Oh dear. These 5 characters are the ones you make the connection with. Now, in the new trilogy, Luke is now dead, and Han is now dead. This leaves Lando and Princess Leia and Chewie. Now, unfortunately, with Leia, we no longer have Carrie Fisher, which is very sad, but we do still have her in the movie because JJ's been able to use footage from The Force Awakens that he didn't use in order to put it into this movie. Yay! We still have Carrie Fisher on the screen. That's always lovely to see. I love that idea. I really, really do. Lando being involved, yes, because it is his ship, technically speaking, I guess. And he did fly in Return of the Jedi to destroy the Death Star. The second Death Star. So he probably does want it back. I think having Chewie and him piloting the Falcon is a very cool thing. It's a very cool throwback. And I do get that these films, you guys grew up watching those characters. And you grew up watching them. And now some of them are gone and you're still holding on to the best of what you had. And I get that. I really do, because frankly it's a lot easier. But at the same time, we can't allow ourselves to be bunged down by fan service. We have to allow the plot to move forward, we have to allow new characters to grow, and we have to allow these things to happen. So that's it for my Star Wars Day, free comic book day rant, if you will. Like I said, go to your local comic book store, pick up some free comics, pick up some comics that aren't free, read some comics, have some fun, introduce your friends, introduce your enemies to comics. I don't care. Comics will build bridges between us, man. That's how it works, how it always worked. So do that. Go up to someone in the street and say, Happy Star Wars Day, may the 4th be with you. Wear a Jedi robe to school. Wear a Wookiee onesie to work, man. do anything you can in order to make this stuff work, because frankly, fandom is something that needs to be embraced, and Star Wars Day is one of the epitomes of that for most of the general public. Now, like I said, for me, most days are Star Wars Day. I don't go out wearing this every day, but I'd like to. It'd be a cool idea. But again, and just to really wrap things up, there's a few podcasts that I want you guys to be aware of for today's Star Wars Day. I want you to check out various podcasting ones that will be not linked to you in the description below, but you can find them on your local Spotify, on iTunes, I believe, on a whole bunch of streaming services. So do please, I will write down a whole bunch of names below in my description. Go check them out. They'll all be fantastic. The one that I will definitely always mention, watch Fatman on Batman, or Fatman Beyond now, I guess would be the technical term. I keep on forgetting they changed the name, damn it. Fatman Beyond. Check out Fatman Beyond with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin. They're always great to listen to. And that's really the only one that I'm going to mention by name, because frankly they are the ones that sort of they helped me find my voice with this sort of thing, and it's nice to know. So go check them out. Go check out the other ones that I will write in the description below. Hug a friend, say May the 4th. May the Force be with you, my friends. And in Wookiee speak,